Steve Powell is a 5th Dan black belt karate expert. He's chief instructor to Choshin-Kai Martial Arts Association and weapons master to clubs all over the world. Being a film stuntman and fight coordinator as well, he arranged this dramatic encounter to show the practical applications of karate. Karate didn't originate as the sport we know, but as a martial art. Starting in China, it spread to Okinawa and was further developed there under the stress of a Japanese invasion. Weapons being forbidden to the local inhabitants, they included training in farm utensils like flails as weapons, as well as in unarmed combat. Not until 1916, when Okinawan masters introduced karate into Japan, did it become a sport there. Steve Powell's researches in many parts of the world over 20 years have led him to include in his Choshin-Kai system elements of Hailam Kung Fu and Thai boxing, as well as classical karate. Choshin-Kai means literally quiet mind. There's no violence in its practice, only the intent to pursue complete self-control through quietening the mind and becoming at one with the intelligent universe. Violence is banned. Only minimum force is used to counter an attack, and that force is always under the control of the user. Everything in karate must be accomplished with intense concentration. The mind is quieted and the body made ready by economic and efficient attention to ritual detail, as in the putting on of the garment and belt. When student or master is in a properly humble and receptive state, the session can begin. An essential preliminary is a series of basic exercises to tone the organism. Steve will give us a demonstration before we take part in them. Press-ups. Place the hands on the ground outside the shoulder joint. Don't over-exert yourself at first, but build up proficiency at a manageable rate. This exercise is to strengthen chest and arm muscles. The whole body must be kept as straight as possible, right down to the heels. Next, shoulder circling to loosen the shoulder joints. Note that in all these exercises, Steve starts slowly and then accelerates as he goes on. There's no sudden violence to the organism. Reverse the direction. Then we go on to chest stretching, which does precisely that. It extends the chest muscles. Later, we shall see how useful this can be in reverse elbow strikes. Now arm extension. The snap straightening of the elbow lends force to the punch. Squatting or deep knee bending. Heels flat on the floor, back straight. On the rise, the knees are pushed back This will be useful later in practicing thrust kicks. The lunge, to increase the flexibility of legs and hips. The bent forward knee must be directly over the toes and the back leg held straight. The whole of the inner edge of that back foot must be in contact with the ground. Now we reverse the process. Keep that back leg straight as possible. Now if we turn the heel inwards, an even deeper squat is possible. Remember to keep the back straight, and remember too that at first you may need to rest between exercises. It's quite permissible to use one hand to balance with. Now, point the feet straight forward, legs well apart. Now get down with those hands as far as possible, then arch back. A very good exercise for the hamstrings and the lower back muscles. Leg swinging or kicking helps with hip joint mobility. Start low at first, swinging to waist height. The height of the swing can be increased to folie bergère height only with practice. Now, the other leg. This is the side raise version of the exercise, which will be used later in kicking. Note where the toes are pointing. You kick the side of the foot outwards. Now, the leg is raised like this until the heel and the knee are in line with the hip. Very good for balance. And for the roundhouse kicking, which we'll be seeing later. Try it with the other leg. Heel must be held high. A final shakedown of each leg to release any tension, and the exercises are finished. Now, Steve is going to take two of his pupils through the same exercises. And as you join in with us, remember Choshin Kai. Quiet mind. Don't be violent with yourself.
Feet together. Right. Press ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stand up. Arm circling backwards. Forwards. Chest stretches. elbow extensions, deep knee bends. 1, press the knees back. 2, press the knees back. 3, back. 4, back. 5, back. 6, back. 7, back. 8, back. 9, back. 10. Lunges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Half a split, half a squat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, the hamstring stretch. 1, arch back. 2, back. 3, back. 4, back. 5, back. 6, and back. 7, 8, 9, 10. Front leg swings. Right leg back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Left leg back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Side raise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, face the front. Roundhouse shape. Raise your knee and heel, align it with your hip. 1. Change legs. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, Yoi. Warm your knees up. Right leg first. On your left leg. Okay, Yoi. Right,
The ritual bow shows mutual respect and humility. Now for the basic karate movements.
This is called Hei Sukodachi. Hei Sukodachi. Open the toes. Feet square. Feet square. Yoi position. How to make a fist. Curl the fingers in tight, especially the little finger, as this is weakest. Place a thumb over the first 2 fingers Place the fist on your hip. Brushing the sides of your body, extend the hand. On completion, turn the fist over, palm down. This is for the basic punch. Return to your hip, palm uppermost, extend, brushing the sides of your body, turn the fist over. The striking points of the fist are the first two knuckles. Points to watch out for are keeping the wrist and knuckles in line. If you punch with the fist this way, on impact, you can injure your own wrist. If the knuckles are pointing up, you will hit with the soft part of your hand and also cause damage to your fingers. So the essential point to remember is to keep the wrist and knuckles in line. And on completion, the centre of the wrist and the centre of the first two knuckles must also be in line to make the correct punch. Okay, once again, from your hip, extend, a little faster this time, turn the palm down, return to your hip, palm uppermost, extend, twist the palm down, back to your hip, twist, twist, twist. The same with your left hand, make the correct fist, thumb around the first two fingers, extend, snap down, palm uppermost, extend, snap. Same time now, draw your left hand back and extend the right. Palm uppermost on your hip, palm down when extended. The completion of each punch now just tense the shoulder muscles. The angle relationship between the chest and the shoulder is 90 degrees. Avoid too much shoulder extension and avoid also this 90-degree angle. Like a chair is built on 90 degrees. If the legs were like this, then it would collapse. So the strongest position for the shoulder is 90, or a box shape. Okay? The faster you draw your left fist back, the faster you will punch with your right. Relax. 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 To make the punch stronger, turn your right side back. Using your left side as a hinge, push the right side around your left side. For even more power, utilize the power of the hip and the shoulder. Twisting back, pushing forward. Relaxation is an essential part for speed. If someone's going to throw a spear, this would be useless. So you must try and get this whip feeling. So from there, double the right hip and shoulder. 1, 2, 1, 2, this way. Hip, shoulder, fist. This is to bank more force in the shoulder. Okay, try and put all three things together now. Using the pull back, the wrist twist. pushing the body weight forward, and for more speed of forward movement, utilising the hip and shoulder double. And on completion of the punch, exhale. We'll try the alternate punch now. This shape for the solar plexus, for the nose, snapping the wrist down this way, leaving a space. That's mixed with a basic punch. Okay, slowly with me, we'll go through the double punching now. Left fist, face position. First punch to the solar plexus. Second punch to the face. Palm down. Wrist snap. Okay, with me slowly. 1, 2. 1, 2. A little faster. 1, 2. Note the shape of fist for the face. 1, 2. Okay, do them both together now, but don't snap the first punch. Impact the first punch before you make the second one. We'll now try the leading hand punch. Place your left hand in the basic guard position. Wrist back, blade of the hand points outward, not the palm. Blade of the hand points forward, thumb tucked tight. Withdraw the leading hand and extend. Withdraw, extend. Same as before, the faster you pull back, the faster you punch. So as you draw back your left hand, just push your right hand slowly forward and withdraw quickly. The faster you pull back, the faster you punch. Okay, basic guard. Draw, punch. Draw, punch. Same principles as before, hip and shoulder double. 1, 2. 1, 2. Pull back is most important. From there, from this position, extend your right hand. Leading hand punch. Follow through to the solar plexus. Make the basic guard. Leading hand punch. Solar plexus with the right hand. Make the basic guard. Relaxation is the key factor for speed. Try and keep your left hand loose. Emphasise the impact on the first punch. The basic elbow strike. The point of the elbow is the attacking weapon. The elbow can be used from many angles. To the side, over the top, to the back. We'll just do with the basic one first. Basic Kamae. Describe a circle with your elbow. Tense the shoulders at the completion of the strike. The faster you pull back, the faster you strike. The basic elbow exercise. The basic fighting stance and front kick. Stand with your feet together. Open your toes. Bring the feet parallel. Take your right foot back in a straight line. When the knee and heel are on the same line, that's the correct length of stance for your own leg length. Stand up straight, making sure both feet are facing the front, as walking, a natural stance. Bend your front knee, so there's 70% weight on the front leg and approximately 30% on the rear leg. Right hip back, 45-degree angle, not square, 45-degree angle. Keep your rear heel flexible, not rigid or tense. Front kick shown slowly. You're raising your knee and snapping the foot forward. Well, let's just break it down into 3 parts now. You can't lift with speed, so use a thing called kick shock, as you keep the rear heel under slight tension, like a coil spring. Right leg is relaxed. Relaxation, kick shock, raising the right knee, align with your own hip. Raise your right knee and push the right hip forward. Pushing the hip forward. You must coordinate the snapping of the foot and the thrusting of the hip at the same time. The snap gives you the speed, and the hip thrust gives you the thrusting power. Kick shock, hip thrust, and snap are the 3 basic principles behind the front kick. Show you slowly first. Extend and snap. Extend, push the hip and snap. Right hip back. The striking area is the ball of the foot under the big toe. So curling the toes back makes for the front kick position. From a side view, this is the hip thrusting position. Keeping the head over the heels, thrust the hip. That completes the front kick. Now for the basic side kick. Assume the basic fighting position. Raise your right knee. And this time make sure the knee and the heel are in line for the side stamping kick. The heel is the striking point. Raise the knee, making sure the knee and heel are in line. Faults to watch out for. If the knee and heel are not in line, the kick will come out round and you will lose power. So if you raise your right knee high, knee and heel in line, you'll have maximum leg weight behind your kick. Okay, so it's raise, stamp. Front view. Once you become flexible, you can raise the kick on line with your hip. Same principles are involved. Knee and heel on line with your hip and extend to the side kick position. Raise your knee and heel in line, side kick position. The basic side kick. Now for the roundhouse kick, a different hip principle is involved. It's a kind of a circular centrifugal force this time. Swing your right hip around your left. Pivot on the ball of your foot. Bring your hip around your left to your left side. Pivot, bringing the hip around your left side. The exercise shown previously will aid you in the roundhouse kick. This should be the position. Knee and heel in line, swinging the hips. Knee and heel in line, swinging the hips. The turning of the hips must coordinate with the snap. And the instep and lower shin are the striking areas. Swing the hips, snap the foot. Swing the hips, snap the foot. That's the basic roundhouse kick. This time we'll show the back fist combined with a sliding step on the cross guard. Put your right foot forward to the right fighting stance. Bend your rear leg for more flexibility. From a side view, basic fighting stance, bend your rear leg for more flexibility. And slide forward, slide back. Slide. Now for the cross guard. Place your left hand in the centre and your right hand over to your left hip. This is called a cross guard. From the sliding position, maintaining your guard, with your right hand describe an arc, making a back fist, and return to your hip. The striking parts, as the name implies, is the back of your fist, the two knuckles next to your thumb. Cross guard position, describe an arc, strike with the back of your fist, and return to the basic position. Don't place the fist, but rather throw it, and make the fist at the last minute. There's different kinds of energy. One can be a thrusting power. This can be likened to a ball bearing on the end of a whip. So whip is the important part in this technique. One, return. Combine this with a slide. Slide, back fist, return. From a side view, cross guard, sliding forward, make the back fist, return to your guard. Slide, making the back fist, return to your guard. That's the basic back fist. Basic blocks and parries. All the vital spots lay down the centre line between the eyes, the nose, the philtrum, the chin, the throat, the sternum, solar plexus, the stomach, the groin, etc. So the main point about the guard is that it must guard these vital points. So the cross guard covers your centre line. So any invading attack now must cross your hands. Now there are 4 openings available. To here, the lower side, the right high side, and the right low side. Those are the 4 openings. Never leave yourself open on your centre line. Between the eyes, nose, chin, throat, and solar plexus. Centre line guard, cross guard. Attack to the first gate can be parried. Or, using the elbow as a fulcrum, using a cutting action, deflects the attack. To the lower gates, a cutting action, and also a slapping action. To gate number 3, a parry or a cutting action. To gate number 4, a cutting or a slapping action. Other various blocks to your centre line can be parried with a rolling wing block, with a turn of the body. Also, with a turn of the body on the other side to the centre, a rolling wing block. We'll now demonstrate these parrying and blocking action in twos. Cross guard position, slapping block. First gate, cutting block. Second gate, slapping block. Second gate, cutting block. Third gate, slap, cut, slap, cut. Those are the 4 main defences. A little faster now. Slap, cut, slap, cut, slap, cut, slap, cut. Now slowly we'll show you a combination of 2 blocks. One attack to the lower gate, one attack to the high gate. Show you slowly first. 1 using a slap, 2 using a cut. 1, 2. A bit faster now. 1, 2. They're full speed. This way. The opposite way about. 1 to the high gate, which you cut. 1 to the low gate, which is slap. Now to make an attack from here, such as a back fist, leaving this hand free, it can strike me again. Okay, so from this position, a block, a slap. If I attack the face now, this hand is free to hit my stomach or face. So this must be arrested or trapped. So the first attack to the face, you block. Second one, slap. Now to avoid being hit by this hand, I must slap. This way. Returning to the cross guard, should an attack come low? Should one come high? Should one come high or low? Okay, so let's go through the first one first. Attack to the high gate, cut. The low gate, slap, trap, and hit. Cut, slap, trap and hit. A bit faster now. Once more slowly. Block, trap, and hit. At this point, the beat is not 1, 2, 3. It's 1 and a half. If I go 1, on my second beat, his other hand can be hitting me. So the timing must be 1.5. You must hit him on the half beat. So from the first one, double punch. 1 from there, this way. Okay? Double punch, fast. Okay. This way. Okay? But just to recap, slap, cut, slap, cut, slap, cut, slap, cut. One final block. From the centre line, as the punch passes the hands, move your body over to the right and just roll your arms over. This is called a wing block. From there you can again trap your opponent's hand and back fist. So one punch to the chest, block, trap and back fist. Again it's done on the half beat. Just a bit faster. Block, back fist. There must be no pause between any of these 3 techniques. Your home training program. Feet together. Right. Yoi. Left hand kamae. Alternate Chudan punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kamae. Jodanzuki, face punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kamae. Double punching, Chudanzuki, stomach punch, Jodanzuki, face punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kamae. Leading hand punch. Maiken Jodan, leading hand punch to the face. 1, kamae. 2, kamae. 3, kamae. 4, kamae. 5, kamae. 6, kamae. 7, kamae. 8, kamae. 9, kamae. 10. Kamae. MP Jodan, elbow strike to the face. 1, kamae. 2, kamae. 3, kamae. 4, kamae. 5, kamae. 6, kamae. 7, kamae. 8, kamae. 9, kamae. 10. Yoi. Right foot forward, cross guard. Sliding forward, the back fist. Yoraken, back fist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, ki, 10. Yoi. Left foot forward. Mayageri. Front kick. Mayageri. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come on, 6, 7, 8, 9, ki, 10. Sokuto, side kick. Side stamping kick, Sokoto Fumakomi. Left hand kamai, left foot forward, Sokoto Fumikomi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Waist height, Sokoto Chudan, side kick to waist height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Face the front, yoi. Left foot forward, kamai. Mawashigeri, roundhouse kick. Mawashigeri. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ki, 9, 10. Yoi. Feet together. Right. Punching the air builds precision, speed, and technique. But to build power, you must punch pads or punch bags. Okay, yoi. Left hand kamai. The basic reverse punch, Gyakuzuki. 1, 2, 3, 4, ki, 5. Pass the pad over. Gyakuzuki. 1, 2, 3, 4, ki, 5. Pass the pad over. MP, elbow strike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, pass the pad over. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pass the pad over. Front kick. Stomach level. Mayageri Chudan. 1, 2, Ki, 3, Ki, 4, 5. Pass the pad over. Mayageri Chudan. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pass the pad over. Roundhouse kick. Mawashigeri, roundhouse kick. 1, 2, 3, Ki, 4, 5. Pass the pad over. Mawashigeri, roundhouse kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Finally on this tape, Steve Powell demonstrates flail fighting techniques, which are part of the weapon training we shall hear more about in future tapes.
The sport of judo was created just over 100 years ago in Japan by a prominent educationalist called Jigoro Kano. He developed his sport of judo from a style of fighting called jiu-jitsu, which the samurai had used to maim or kill their enemy for centuries. Now, judo is a popular modern sport which is practiced in most countries of the world. Within the sport, a participant is rewarded for throwing his opponent cleanly onto his back with impetus, holding his opponent with his back towards the floor in control for 30 seconds, or forcing the opponent to submit due to the application of an arm lock or stranglehold. A grading system is an integral part of the sport, and proficiency is shown by the colour of the belt which the judoka wears. A novice wears a white belt, and following an introductory training period would progress to yellow belt. From there, by entering grading examinations, where he competes with others of the same grade and answers questions on the rules and techniques of the sport, he progresses through 2 grades of orange, green, blue and brown. If he trains hard and has a certain amount of natural ability, he could achieve black belt status or first dan. There are further divisions within this dan or master grade section. First through to 5th dan, being the grades achieved for fighting ability. Following this, up to 12th dan for contribution to the sport. Japanese etiquette is an integral part of the sport, Techniques are called by their Japanese names, and the referee's commands are given in Japanese. Here we see judoka practicing the various skills by which a contest can be won. The vast majority of judo techniques involve the gripping of the kit, or judogi. Here we see Phil demonstrating how to put the kit on in the correct manner. First, the trousers. He takes the trousers so that the loop is at the front. This loop is important since the ends of the cords are threaded through this and it makes the garment secure. The trousers are put on in the normal fashion. And the cords are then drawn tight from the sides. One end of the cord is threaded through the loop, and the cords are then tied in a normal bow, quite securely, and the ends are tucked down the back of the waistband. Now we come to the jacket, which is made of very strong material to stand the strain of the pulling which goes on in judo. It's put on in the normal fashion, and the left lapel must cross the right lapel since this affects the gripping. The belt, which is once again made of strong material since it can also be gripped, is taken in the middle, passed around the waist, and the ends are brought back to the front once again. The piece in the right hand is taken under the piece in the left hand. It goes up and down the back of the other two, and the knot is then completed in the normal reef knot manner so that the ends of the belt hang down. Judo, in common with most body contact sports, is very physically demanding. Often, either by their own efforts or by the efforts of their opponent, judoka are required to put their bodies into positions which require a high level of mobility. Thorough warming up is very necessary in order to prevent injury and in order to raise the core temperature of the body by loosening the joints and stretching the muscles in a gradual way. Steve will now go through a typical warming up program. Here we see him performing trunk circling movements. Just a very general warming up action aimed at warming up the upper body in general. He performs to both sides in order to work muscles in one direction and also in the other. Here he's performing a very simple exercise which is designed to stretch the hamstrings in a gentle way, gradually increasing in intensity. Hamstring injuries are quite a problem should they occur. Some warming up action from the shoulders as well. Another hamstring stretch. Once again, done on both sides. Too much attention can't be paid towards prevention of muscle strains. Once again, still working on the hamstrings and the groin region in particular. Very important with these movements not to jerk into the positions but to perform the exercise smoothly and gradually increase the range of movement. Change of emphasis now. General warming up movement. Back injuries can be quite a problem. This is one of the exercises which helps to loosen the back, prevent such injuries from occurring. Yes, once again, still working on the back, particularly the lower back, and also the neck. The shoulders are put under some pressure at the top of the movement in addition, helping to loosen the shoulders. Once again, very important exercise for the lower back. Finally, loosening off the hands, the wrists. The hands in judo are very important. They have to grip the jacket. Very important to thoroughly warm up the wrists and the fingers so that when they grip the jacket, injuries don't happen to the smaller joints, to the fingers. Same with the ankles and the toes. Judo is traditionally a barefoot sport. This is one of the things which people find when they first take up the sport, that it takes a little while to get used to being in bare feet. This sort of preparation helps to prevent injuries to the toes. Finally, the neck takes quite a lot of strain in judo. Very important to thoroughly warm it up, also aids to strengthen it. Just another way of strengthening the neck and warming the area up. Now we've seen a demonstration from Steve, why don't you try? We have two people to help. First of all, trunk circling. And very important to make a big range of movement. Find even bigger circles and the other direction. Fine. Now hamstring stretching, feet apart. Don't jerk into the movement, nice and smoothly. Gently to start with. Off you go. And gradually increase the range of movement. Try and reach a little further through your legs. And don't forget, nice and smoothly, no sudden movements. And back as far as you can at the top. Fine, and once more. Fine. One leg in front of the other one. Try and keep your knees locked, your legs straight. Hamstring stretching once again, nice and smoothly. Reach down. Fine. As you're feeling you're getting warmer, try to put your hands on the mat if you can. Fine. Change legs. Fine. Good. Can you sit down? Legs apart. Keep your knees on the floor, the backs of your knees on the floor. Head on one knee, over onto the other side, head on the other knee. Nice and smoothly, no sudden jerky movements. And a little bit lower on the left. Fine, and now to the center. Same position, keep the backs of your knees on the floor and reach forward as far as you can, a little bit further. Try to keep the backs of your knees down if possible. Fine, now back rolling. Roll, touch behind your head with your feet and back. Try to keep your legs straight if you can. Good, and this time all the way over, position for cat stretch. Feet apart, hands apart, take your weight on your feet and hands, drop your hips as far as possible, arch your back as far as possible, and push high again. Fine, at the top of the movement, brace your shoulders back. And now head back as far as possible. Good. Keep the movement going. Fine. Front lying. Front lying. Lifting the right leg first from the hip. Try to keep the hips square to the floor. Lift the right leg as high as possible 5 times. Go. And then the left leg 5 times. Really stretch these lower backs. Very important exercise. And now both legs together 5 times. Good. If you could sit down and just loosen your joints of your wrist and your fingers. Just wrist circling, and the fingers as well, and change hands. Good, and now ankles and toes. Good, and finally, just some bridging. Fine, if you could just push up to a bridge 5 times. Try to roll from your nose to the back of your head, if that's possible. If it's too severe, keep your hands on the floor to take some of the weight off your neck. Fine, and the other way over. Try to push right back to your nose if possible. Once again, if it's too much strain for your neck, keep your hands on the floor as well. Fine, thank you. The first objective in judo is to throw your opponent to the mat. If this is done with force and cleanly, the result is ippon and the end of the contest. Naturally, to be thrown down with force can be somewhat unpleasant. But injuries need not be any greater problem than in any other body contact sport, particularly if the participants learn how to fall safely. Different throws require different breakfall techniques from the recipient. The first throw which was demonstrated required a back breakfall. That was rather quick. If we could see it again a little slowly. The first point to note is that the hand slaps the mat with the palm downwards, and the arm is at an angle between the shoulder and the hip. The other most important point of all is that the chin is tucked in and the eyes looking at the knot on the belt to prevent striking the head on the mat. The second throw to be demonstrated required a side breakfall. Fine. We could notice that the arm strikes the floor once again with the palm towards the floor, and the angle of the arm is between the shoulder and the hip. Once again, the chin is tucked in, and the eyes are looking at the knot on the belt. The third throw to be demonstrated required a forward rolling breakfall. Fine, that was rather quick. Perhaps we could do it again. The points to note are that the head never touches the mat, the chin is tucked in, a smooth rolling action ending in the side breakfall position. Now, why don't you try? Although I must emphasize that we're doing all these movements on a suitable mat, and a mat is necessary in order to perform these movements. Now, if you would like to try these movements yourself, with the help of the students, we'll recap. First of all, the back breakfall. Notice they strike the floor between shoulder and hip, palm of the hand down, and most important of all, the chin should be tucked in looking at the knot on the belt. Could we see that again, please? Thank you. Now we move on to the side breakfall. Once again, note that the arm strikes the mat between the shoulder and the hip with the palm down. The chin is tucked in with the eyes looking at the knot on the belt. Could we see it again, please? Thank you. And now we'll go on to the forward rolling breakfall. Notice that the head never touches the mat at all, the chin is well tucked in. And the movement ends in the side break falling position, or alternatively, as in the first case, the roll can be taken completely up to the feet. How the opponent's jacket is gripped is very important in judo. The rules prevent certain grips for safety reasons. For example, it is not allowed to insert the fingers inside the sleeve, as injury to one's own fingers can occur. There are, however, a great number of grips which are used. That's a standard sleeve and lapel grip, which one would take if one was going to attempt to throw to the right-hand side. The same gripping position, this time, which one would use if one was turning to the left to throw to the left. This time, a double lapel grip gives control of both the opponent's shoulders, enables one to turn to the right and to the left, but nevertheless leaves the opponent free to use his own hands as a defense. He can take his hands away and put them on the mat to avoid a throw. It gives him a lot of freedom. This time a grip around the back, very, very strong grip, destroying the opponent's posture, making it very tiring for him and difficult to move. The same grip, this time taken on the other side. This time an even deeper grip down the back of the jacket. And the same grip once again on the other side. Now if we could return to the standard grip, the sleeve and lapel grip, and the one which in the early stages people tend to concentrate on. And notice, very tight grip just about on the elbow on the sleeve side, and the grip on the lapel with the right hand, giving control of the opponent's body. Fine. Now we're going to have a look at one of the most common judo throws. The throw is called Ippon Seoinage. Loosely translated into English means a shoulder throw. Now that demonstration was at speed. Let's break the technique down in order to see what exactly is happening. From the standard gripping position, the right arm is thrust through and grips onto the opponent's arm. At the same time, the right foot is advanced into position between the opponent's feet. Fine. Fine, if you could do that just a little quicker. Fine. Now the next stage, from that position, the thrower pivots on the foot which is forward. And into that position, the head looking around to the left, and the weight taken on both feet. Fine. Now if we could see a slow completion of the throw. Now, let's see the students try the same technique. Good, I think we can improve that. I'd like you to break the throw down into stages and just practice the introduction, where the arm is thrust through. Fine. If we can get tighter contact under the arm, you're turning in a little bit too low down your opponent's arm. Try and thrust the arm through tight into the armpit. That's better. That's good. Fine. And now complete the turn in without throwing. Good. I think perhaps if you could pivot faster on the foot which is forward. Good. Now could we see a completion? Good. And now one final completion, this time at full speed. Thank you. Now, let's look at a throw which is very similar and yet different. Fine. This throw is called Marotti Seoinage. It's a shoulder throw, but this time, instead of releasing the hand from the lapel, the hand remains on the lapel and the forearm is turned under the opponent's arm. And the throw is completed in the same way as the throw we previously saw. Now, let's break the technique down into easy stages. Fine. Notice the forearm, push through underneath the opponent's arm, and the turn of the body in order to reach a throwing position. Fine, if we could see that entry once again. Notice the right hand on the lapel, turning into the lapel, the forearm coming through under the opponent's arm, and the completion of the throw. Now once again at full speed. Thank you. Let's see the students try the same technique. First of all at full speed. Yes, that's quite good. Now would you try just doing the entry to the technique? Good, and allow the body to turn. Fine. I think we can improve the position of the right hand. If you could move the right hand higher on the lapel, and now try the entry from that position, your hand slipping down again. That's fine. Now make the turn. Good. And now out. Think about the position of the right hand, and now complete the throw. We've had a look at two very basic judo throwing techniques. And in a contest situation, if these throws are successful, the contest is over, and it's won. But very often, even with the best attempt in the world, the opponent manages to avoid landing fully on his back, and in fact the throw is not totally successful. And in this instance we change and we can follow into groundwork. From a partially successful throw, the thrower would attempt very quickly to take a holding position on the ground and win the contest in groundwork. Fine, if we could see that now demonstrated slowly. Fine. Now in a contest situation, obviously if the technique took so long to apply, it wouldn't be realistic. That in fact is what the attacker did, but at many times that speed. Now if we could see it again done slowly. Notice the arm being pulled very tightly across the chest. The right arm is around the head, gripping the jacket very tightly. Most of the attacker's weight is actually on the mat, and he's pulling very tightly into his opponent's armpit. It's very uncomfortable for the person underneath. Makes it very difficult for him to escape, and if the attacker can hold him down for 30 seconds, the contest is won. Would you like to move? Fine. Very clever change of movement to the legs in order to gain extra control. Let's see the students try this technique. The holding is called kesagatame, or scarf hold. Fine. Could you demonstrate the technique slowly? Good. I think we can make this stronger. Could you move this leg further back? Bend this knee. Keep the head well forward. Would you like to test the strength of the hold down? Stop. Thank you. Let's see an alternative method of holding the opponent down. This time from the side. The technique is called Yoko Shiogatame, or side four-quarters hold down. Notice the right hand underneath the opponent's head, gripping the jacket, and the left hand between the opponent's legs, gripping the seat of the pants. Fine. Could you move into the position again? Fine. Could you test the strength of the hold down? Stop. Thank you. The students can now try the same technique. Fine. Could you just kneel up and then put the hold down on once again? Good. Try to keep the hips low and the head down. That's fine. Would you test the strength of the hold down? Stop. Fine. Thank you. This would seem to be a good time to stress certain points about judo, some of which have already been made. As you'll have seen, the sport is very physically demanding. But we're very proud in judo that we have a caring attitude towards safety and also hygiene. The best way and the only safe way to learn the sport is to join a registered British Judo Association club. There, certain standards will be insisted upon. First of all, the judogi, or the kit, must be kept clean. The body must be kept clean. The nails cut short. And also, footwear would never be worn on the mat. And off the mat, footwear is always worn to keep the feet clean. The session would be structured. Coaching expertise would be available. Suitable mats would be available. a thorough warm-up would be insisted upon, and generally a caring attitude would be shown. Now, let's continue. The link between throwing and groundwork is very important. Very important to be able to move quickly into a groundwork position. There, the throw was only partially successful, and very quickly Steve could move into a controlling position which would probably have resulted in a successful score. Now, if we could see that again slowly, please. Notice the throw. The person being thrown just manages to twist onto the side, and now Steve will take this opportunity to take control and finish in a very tight, secure hold down. Thank you. Could we see that at full speed again? Fine, and the result should be a nip-on and the end of the contest. The students can now try the same technique. Fine, could you try the movement slowly? This time, try and slip very smoothly into the groundwork position. Fine, try and keep a little more body contact while you're adjusting your position into the final hold down. Fine, now if you could see that again at full speed. Good, test the strength of the hold down. Fine, thank you. Steve will now demonstrate a second linking technique into groundwork. Fine. The throw was Morote Seoinage, which we looked at earlier, and finishing in Yoko Shiogutami, or side four quarters hold down. Now if we could see it slowly. Fine. Once again, notice the control under the opponent's head and the hand between the legs gripping the seat of the trousers. All right, could we see that again? Fine, very good control, very difficult to escape from. And now finally at full speed. Good, thank you. The students will now try the same linking technique, first of all at full speed. Fine, now could you slow it down? Good, just keep your head down. Fine, now once again at full speed. Good. Could have been a little more smoothly into the position, but that's fine, thank you. The other method of scoring in groundwork in judo is by the application of an arm lock. This is where the lock is applied on the elbow joint and the opponent submits if he's in pain and he can't escape from the hold down. Great care must be exercised with the application of arm locks. And in fact, in a contest, the referee is very, very quick to prevent the arm lock from causing injury. And also the person caught in the arm lock will submit very quickly if he knows that he's in a dangerous position. It must be emphasized that juniors in judo don't practice arm locks or in fact strangles, which we will talk about later. So these techniques are for seniors, people over 16 only. This arm lock is the most common in judo. It's called Juji Gatame. It's just a straight arm lock using the leverage of the hips in order to lock the elbow joint. It's the technique which Neil Adams of Great Britain won the world title with. He defeated the Japanese in the final with this arm lock. Fine, could we see the movement into the technique again? Fine, notice the close contact. The hips are very close into the opponent's shoulders. Notice the ankles locked around each other to give control, and the pulling of the arm in the direction of the little finger, and in some cases, if necessary, the raising of the hips to add strength to the movement, and the opponent quickly taps. Now we can see the technique applied from a throw and at full speed. Fine. Notice the speed with which the recipient tapped and submitted. The students will now demonstrate the same technique. Good, fine. Control at the end. Now could you go through it very slowly, please? Fine, pull towards the little finger and raise the hips. Good. And now once again, this time try to come in lower. Good, fine. Thank you. Let's take a look at another method of scoring in judo. This involves strangulation or strangleholds. Now, before we go any further, it's very important to emphasize the safety aspect. First of all, juniors don't attempt to do strangleholds. Secondly, the place to learn them is in a club with an experienced coach or teacher in charge. Now, let's see the technique. Fine. This technique is called okuri erijimi, which means sliding collar strangle. It's always applied from the rear position, usually with the feet hooked in to give extra control. There. Now, could we see the position of the hands again? The thumb of the left hand is around the neck and gripping the lapel very tightly. The right hand goes under the opponent's arm and grips the far lapel. The right hand pulls down and the left hand pulls around. This strangle, if correctly applied, affects the blood supply to the brain, and should the opponent not submit, loss of consciousness would result. Always in that position, if they cannot escape, they would signal defeat. Could we see the technique again, please? Notice once again, a tight grip of the lapel, very tightly around the opponent's neck, the right hand under the opponent's arm gripping the far lapel and pulling down. And when the technique is applied, the submission comes very quickly. Steve will now demonstrate linking of throwing techniques to groundwork. First of all, linking with the arm lock, Jujigatame. And linking with the hold down, Kesagatame. Not at full speed, but just to demonstrate in a clear way. And the throw, and into the strangle, okuri erijimi. The students will show the techniques we've seen already, done in a movement situation. Linking with Kesagatame, the groundwork, the throw was Ippon Seoinage. It's Marotti Seoinage, linking with the arm lock, Jujigatame. Very fast Ippon Seoinage and quickly into the arm lock, Jujigatame. Fine. Could you just do that again, please? The transition from the throw into the arm lock is a little bit clumsy. That's better. Thank you. Fine. Marotti Seoinage linking with Kesagatame in groundwork. Could you speed up a little? The throw was at half pace. Plenty of movement and fast attacks. That's good. Fine. A good Marotti Seoinage and into a very tight hold down, Kesugatami. Ippon Seoinage followed into Yoko Shiogatami. Fine, good. Some of these throwing techniques would be clear enough to end the contest, but for practice they're following into groundwork anyway. Yes, good linking with groundwork, but the throw was a little slow. Could you do that again? A faster throw to start with. Good, that's fine, and good linking with Kesugatami and groundwork. Yes, throwing on the left there with Marotti Seoinage and following into the arm lock, Jujigatami. Now could we see more movement about the mat? Very good throw, and quickly into Jujigatami for the submission. Once again, Marotti Seoinage and into the arm lock. Could you do that again, please, and put both legs over? You didn't have quite the control with your legs. Good, fine, thank you. A very quick submission, very sensible. All right, a lot of movement around the mat. So again, left Marotti Seoinage, followed by Jujigatami. Ippon Seoinage and quickly into Jujigatami once again. Q. This time could we see Yoko Shiogatami used as a hold down? Good, quickly into the side four quarters holding, Yoko Shiogatami. Once again, very smoothly, good Ippon Seoinage to throw with, very quickly into Yoko Shiogatami and groundwork. Yes, just missed with the right hand, perhaps in a contest or a competitive situation, it may have been able to turn out to the hold down at the end. Once again, very quickly into the groundwork. Thank you. This is a good time to look more closely at the scoring system which operates in judo. To the newcomer to the sport, this is made rather complicated due to the use of Japanese terminology. The smallest score is a koka. To gain this score, you must throw your opponent so that his hips strike the floor. Steve's demonstrated a technique which would result in a koka score. There, the throw was partially successful. The opponent was made to sit down, but he didn't go onto his back. The result is a koka. It should be pointed out that any number of kokas will not equal the next higher score. We tend to credit excellence in judo, excellence of technique, so the better the throw, the better the score which it gets. There, a throw which would have been Ippon Seoinage to the front. The person being thrown managed to twist out and land on his face. His hips still went down onto the floor. Once again, a koka score. Now we can move on to the next higher score, which is a yuko. a Yuko. This time the throw is just partially more successful. There, more towards the back, but not fully on the back, and not a lot of impetus or force. A Yuko. Partially twisting out to the throw, not a lot of impetus. The result is a Yuko score. Now we can go on to the next higher one, which is called a Wazari. There. A Wazari is almost an Ippon. Just certain points may be missing, otherwise the throw will be given a full Ippon and end the contest. There. Not fully onto his back, but quite a lot of force. A Wazari and the next high score. Now with a Wazari, this is the only occasion when scores are cumulative. 2 Wazari throws would end the contest. There, not fully onto his back, quite a lot of impetus, too good for a Yuko but not good enough for an Ippon, therefore a Wazari. And now we'll demonstrate a full Ippon. You've seen a lot of them on the tape. Fine, a full Ippon, impetus, and the opponent being controlled and landing on his back. Once again, there, Ippon. The scoring in groundwork is somewhat easier to follow. All correctly applied groundwork techniques will result in Ippon and end a contest, apart from in the case of a hold down, where the person being held down manages to escape between 25 and 30 seconds. In that case, the result will be a Wazari. A correctly applied arm lock must result in Ippon. Similarly, a correctly applied stranglehold, which causes a submission, must result in Ippon and end the contest. Now we can look at certain prohibited acts in judo. It's against the rules to put any pressure on the face. It's permissible to push on the chin or on the forehead, but not to put the hand or the fingers on the face. Similarly, it's not permissible to bend back the fingers or the toes or the wrists. The only joint which may be locked is the elbow joint, and that's acceptable. Similarly, striking or gouging are not allowed. Once again, not allowed to bend back the toes or the ankles or lock the knee joint. We can now see how the scoring system and these rules are put into practice in a competitive situation. But before the students actually take part in a contest, the referee, who in this instance is Steve, will demonstrate the signals which coincide with the scores. The first one is a signal for a koka. That's the signal. The referee would also call the score koka. The next signal is for a yuko, which you would also score for a yuko. And the next one for a wazari. There, the arm waves straight across in a straight line, parallel to the floor. And the final one, the signal that goes with the ippon and ends the contest. The arm straight in the air. Thank you. Now perhaps we can start the contest.
3, 2.
A lot of unsuccessful attacks. There, an attempt at a strangle, good control with the legs. The strangle is on, and the submission occurs, an ippon score, and an obvious winner. and the referee indicates the winner. Well, now we must conclude this video. We hope you found it both educational and interesting. We've tried to make a very skillful and technical sport simple, not an easy thing to do. In subsequent tapes, we hope to add on to knowledge already gained and cover more advanced tactics and skills. Perhaps a final note about safety. The place to learn judo, and in fact practice judo, is under the supervision of a qualified British Judo Association coach and in a club recommended by that organisation. Now, so far you've only heard my voice. I think the time has come for Steve and myself to enjoy a judo practice.
We live in a violent age. Crimes against the person increase in numbers daily. But this scene, though typical, is really a piece of mayhem deliberately staged by trained and self-controlled experts under the guidance of Steve Powell. Steve Powell, a martial arts instructor of international reputation, has combined a unique blend of karate, Hai Lam Kung Fu, and Thai boxing into this course in self-defense techniques. All the movements must be used in a controlled manner, employing only the amount of force necessary to preserve oneself. Excess use of force rebounds on the user. Of course, prevention is better than cure, and there are plenty of simple precautions one can take to keep out of situations where violence can occur. But if violence becomes inevitable, it's better to be prepared in body and mind to deal with it. Steve Powell's system is called Choshin Kai, quiet mind. Perhaps in his case, a quiet mind stems from confidence in his ability. But both men and women can gain that confidence with the help of simple techniques. Their use depends on a fit organism. And Steve has formulated a series of exercises to that end. We'll watch him demonstrate them before trying them for ourselves. Press-ups. Place the hands on the ground outside the shoulder joints. Don't overexert yourself at first, but build up proficiency at a rate that you can manage. This exercise is for the strengthening of chest and arm muscles. Keep the whole body as straight as possible, right down to the heels. a variation in which all the weight is taken on the first two knuckles of either hand. This will be developed later in straight line punching. Shoulder circling to loosen the shoulder joints. Note that in all these exercises, Steve starts slowly and then accelerates as he goes on. There's no sudden violence to the organism. Now we reverse the situation. Chest stretching does precisely that. It extends the chest muscles. Later, we shall see how useful this can be in reverse elbow strikes. Arm extension. The snap straightening of the elbow lends force to the punch. Now, squatting or deep knee bending. Heels flat on the floor, back straight. On the rise, the knees are pushed back. This will be useful later on in practicing thrust kicks. Repeat the process with the hands on the hips. But remember to lock those knees back. Now the lunge to increase the flexibility of legs and hips. The bent forward knee must be directly over the toes and the back leg held straight. The whole of the inner edge of that back foot must be in contact with the ground. Back leg straight, knee over the point of the toes. Turn the heel inwards and an even deeper squat is possible. Remember, keep that back straight. And remember too, that at first you may need to rest between exercises. In this exercise, we point the feet straight forward with the legs well apart. Now get down as far as possible, then arch back. A very good exercise for the hamstrings and the lower back muscles. Leg swinging helps with hip joint mobility. You start low at first, swinging only to waist height. The height of the swing can be increased to Folies Bergère height only with practice. Now the other leg. The side raise version of this exercise will be used later in kicking. Note where the toes are pointing. You are in effect kicking with the outside edge of the foot. Now, raise the leg, like this, until the heel and the knee are in line with the hip. Very good for balance, when you've mastered it. And also for the roundhouse kick we shall be seeing later. And now we can join in practice with Steve Powell's pupils.
Press ups, hands shoulder width apart, keeping your back straight, lower your chest to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knuckle press ups, the first 2 knuckles next to your thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stand up. Shoulder circling backwards in your own time. Stop and shoulder circling forward in your own time. Stop. Chest stretches to the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Elbow extensions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lunges. Put your left leg forward and lunge. 1. Get your feet in the same place, change to the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Change your weight to half a split and half a squat. 1, 2, supporting heel flat. 3, 4, 5, 6. Stand up. Legs apart. Hamstring stretch. 1. Arch back. 2. Back. 3. And back. 4. Arch back. 5. Back. And 6. Okay, place your right leg back. Leg swings. Exercise the hip joint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place your left leg back. Leg swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, face the front. Side raise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with your left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Roundhouse shape, knee and heel on line with your hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Face the front. That completes the warm-up exercises. Your body's weapons. The 2 knuckles next to your thumb. The palm heel. The side of the hand. the back of the fist, the base of the hand, the inside next to the thumb, the inside of the forearm, the outside of the forearm, the tip of the elbow, your knee, instep, the toe of your shoe, the ball of the foot, and the heel. All can be used as weapons for self-defense. These are your own personal body weapons. We'll deal first with the basic fist. Curl your fingers in tight, especially the small finger, as this is weakest. The thumb covers the first two fingers, and clench. The first basic exercise punch to develop power in the punch. Place your hand on your hip, palm uppermost. This is an exercise punch for building power. Brush the sides of your body with your arm, extend, and on completion of the extension, turn your palm down. The striking point is the two knuckles next to your thumb, making sure that these two knuckles are in line with your forearm. Also making sure the back of the fist and forearm are in line. Striking this way, you can damage your wrist. Striking this way, you will hit with the soft part of the hand and not the hard knuckle. So keep the forearm straight and the two knuckles in line with the center of your forearm. Return to your hip, extend, turn the palm over. Return to your hip, extend, turn the arm over. The same with your left. Brush the sides of your body, turn the palm over. Return to your hip, extend, turn the palm over. Hold this last position, place your right hand on your hip. At the same time, draw your left hand back and extend your right. Turn the palm over and flex to your shoulder muscles. Relaxation first, extend, flex the shoulder muscles. Relax, tense. Relax, tense. The faster you pull the outward hand back, the faster your punching hand will travel. Relax, relax, relax. To bank more force in the punch, you must utilize the hip, chest, and shoulder. Just extending the hand is only using the tricep muscle. We want to bring into the punch the heavy shoulder muscle, chest and hip. Place your right side back, extend and turn the body, placing the body weight behind the punch. Right side back, push forward. Extend your left hand, right side back, pull back quickly and rotate the body forward fast. Pushing the body forward. The same movements are used for the palm strike. And in cases of extreme necessity, if you leave the thumb sticking out, You can also catch the eye, but this must be used only in cases of extreme need. Palm strike. The exercise to develop the palm strike. Hip and shoulder behind the blow. This blow is usually aimed for the nose. Turning the body strongly. Palm strike. The base of the hand, called the hammer blow, can be used in a downward motion against the bridge of the nose, can be used in a thumping movement down to the groin, and can also be used as a side movement against the bridge of the nose. Snapping force of the elbow plus the weight of the arm travelling and a body twist combines three kinds of energy. To recap, the elbow snap, the arm weight, and the body weight twist. So striking sideways on line with your own nose. Don't lift and then extend. Rather try and whip the arms forward quickly. Don't place the blow there, throw it, okay? Turn the body. Twist the body violently to increase the force of the blow. The same movement can be used for the side of the hand, usually aimed against your opponent's throat. Again, this one must only be used in extreme cases. Side strike with the blade edge of the hand to the throat. The relaxation on your right side, turn the body quickly and whip to the throat. Relax, whip to the throat. The back fist can also be used for attacking an opponent who is stood to your side. This is usually aimed at the nose or the eye sockets. Turn the body strongly, arm power and elbow snap. This can also be used when an opponent is face on to attack the temple in a snapping motion. Attacking the temple. Also for a side attack, the outside of the forearm can be used against the throat, against the top lip, between the eyes or the nose. Again, a forceful twist of the body using the outside of the forearm. The inside of the forearm can also be used to attack against the throat. Next is the elbow. The elbows can be used in various ways. As an elbow thrust, try and utilize the shoulder muscle for this one. Work both your right side and your left side. From a side view, pushing the shoulder muscle forward as you strike. This one can be aimed at the throat, philtrum, or anywhere on the face, using the bone of the elbow. That is the elbow thrust, thrusting forward. The elbow can also be used in a hooking fashion, hooking the elbow round this way, describing an arc. An uppercut, usually aimed to the jaw. The falling elbow strike, striking over the top against the bridge of the nose or the side of the neck. Make sure the hand travels down the centre using the bone of the elbow, and on the impact point slightly drop your weight down to increase the weight of the blow. Just place your left leg forward. Bring the elbow down. At the impact point, drop the weight down, but still keeping balance. Side strike, similar to the exercise shown previously. Side strike. To increase the power of the blow, a body turn would help increase the power. Jerk the elbow back. Plus a turn. When practicing, always imagine your opponent stood at the side of you, striking to the top lip, the throat, the jaw, or the nose. Quite similar to this is a reverse elbow hook. Imagine the opponent stood behind you, twist the body, and bring the elbow past your centre line. Reverse elbow hook. Twist the body and jerk the elbow quickly into your opponent's neck or jaw, using the bony tip of the elbow. Twist the body past the centre line. If somebody stood very, very close, besides the reverse elbow hook, you can also use the reverse elbow thrust, usually aimed for the solar plexus. Thrust the elbow back. To increase the power, twist your right side back and shift the body weight back by a slight backward step on your right foot. Increase the backward body movement, plus a twisting of the body. So, twisting the body, body weight shift, thrust the elbow. Target area is the solar plexus. Solar plexus strike. Okay, so for the elbows, you can thrust, you can hook, you can uppercut, falling elbow strike, side elbow, reverse elbow hook, and reverse elbow thrust. Just going back to the hand, we've shown all these side movements with the back fist, the hammer blow, and the blade. This time using the inside of the hand, called the ridge hand strike. This is not a very strong area of your own hand, so it's always aimed towards a soft spot, such as the throat. Just a natural swing. Leave the elbow slightly off the lock to lessen the tension on the elbow at the moment of impact. Ridge hand strike. Twist the right side of the body forward. Ridge hand strike against the throat. Other parts of the hand are the tips of the fingers, called finger jabs. These only must be used in extreme cases. These are usually directed towards the eyes. Something less dangerous would be a flick of the back of the fingers to temporarily blind the person, temporarily, not permanently. Usually the back of the fingers are whipped against the eyes for a distraction and followed through with a more powerful blow to the solar plexus. So the finger jab must only be used in extreme cases. One other finger technique is to clench the fingers in a bunch with the thumb. This is called the woodpecker jab for close-in work, and this is also whipped against the eyes. Again, only used in extreme cases. So attacks to the eyes with the fingers is a straight finger thrust against the eyeball, and clenching the fingers with a flick of the wrist and elbow power. This is usually also used against the eyes. One last one is a variation on the clenched fist. Just curl the fingers in halfway, squeeze the thumb tightly against the side of the hand, and the striking area this time is under the middle knuckle. Remember, on the fist we use the strong knuckles. This time we use the middle knuckles. The same body technique is used, pushing the body forward, twisting the hip and shoulder for more power, and this attack is usually thrust against the windpipe. Again, this is a very dangerous technique. Middle knuckles, attacking the throat. Twisting the shoulder and hip. Use of the knee. The knees can be used to attack the inside and outside of the thighs. The inside and the outside to deaden the thigh muscles. Using the tip of the knee can also be used against the groin, the solar plexus, and for closing work, grabbing your opponent's head, pulling the head down at the same time as you drive the knee into the face. This is the front knee kick. One is a rising motion against the groin, and one is a thrusting motion, thrusting the hip forward. So one comes in an arc against the groin, and one is driven straight. Imagine an imaginary tube in front, and try and jam your knee in the opening. This makes sure that the energy of your knee kick is going straight forward. So pushing the knee and hip forward. Also, using the top part of the knee can be used for a round knee kick, usually aimed against the ribs or the solar plexus. A twisting motion of the hip, twist on the ball of your supporting foot, push the hip round quickly in a circular motion and drive the knee round. Now these movements using the hip for the knee kick, for the straight knee kick, and the round knee kick also serve as preparation for kicking techniques. The first one is the front kick. The striking area can be the heel, or the ball of the foot, or the toe of a strong shoe. Make the same shape as the knee kick, pushing the hip forward. And when you reach this position, snap your foot forward into a front kick. Now again, there are two types. Going back to the first knee kick, to the groin, the same technique of the hip with an extension of the foot brings you into a front snap kick aimed against the groin. Don't leave the foot out to be grabbed. After you've hit the target, snap the foot back quickly. Groin kick. Pushing the hip forward. This is a front thrust kick. You can use the ball of the foot or the heel driven in like a lower pelvic area. Snap kick first, ball of the foot, and the front thrust kick using the heel. Low front kicks using the ball of the foot or the toe can also be aimed towards the shin to serve as a distraction. Most times it's used off your forward foot into the shin bone for a distraction and followed through with an eye jab. So there's the front shin kick, followed through with an eye jab. Just a side view. Shin kick, eye jab. Not done as a 1-2 movement, but try and make the beats a 1.5. A distraction to the shin, and you can follow through with your bigger techniques. Attacking to the side, or counter attacking, this time the striking area is the heel. Okay, for the basic side kick, raise your knee and heel, making sure the knee and heel are in line towards the target area. Stamp down for the stamping side kick. This is usually aimed against the inside of the thigh, the outside of the thigh, the pelvic bone, and as you become more supple, it can be done against the solar plexus, the sternum, the ribs, or base of the spine. Okay, slowly raise the knee and heel on line, stamp. When reaching the impact point, lower the body weight down by bending your left leg, adding more body force to the blow. That's the position, that's the body weight drop. Try and coordinate these two for more power. Raise the knee, drop the body weight, that's your stamp. You don't hold your knee in this position to telegraph the kick. As soon as you reach this position, you must stamp down. The side kick. Inside and outside of thigh are the areas to attack. Once you become more supple, the same kick can be aimed at hip height. Doing this side raise exercise will help increase the mobility of your hips. A side thrust kick. Always start at knee height and gradually increase as you become more supple. Stamp the heel onto the ribs, solar plexus or pelvic area. Pushing the hips with the kick. Push the hips with the kick. Quite similar to the movement used in this circular knee kick. This time using the instep or the lower shin. Extend the leg and kick. This is called a roundhouse kick. If your opponent is facing this way, then you must kick round against the vital areas, which will be explained to you later. Again, you don't hold your leg out in case it's grabbed. Once you've hit, with a violent twist of the hip for more body power, then slap the leg back to avoid being grabbed. This can be aimed at the groin, against the knee joints, this way, against the calf, to deaden a leg muscle, against the thigh. If it is somebody who is a good kicker, or is very mobile on his feet and can move around, and your blows aren't, like reaching the target, areas, low kicks against the calf, the knee joints and the thigh will slow down his footwork, and once the muscle is deadened, then he won't be able to kick you. Okay, so all kicks this way, especially for self-defense, are best kept low against the leg area, calf, knee, thigh, or if it's facing the other way, attacks to the groin. These will be explained in more detail later. Okay, so twist the hip and snap. Just for a mobility exercise, when you get more supple, you can go up to face height. And sometimes we've done it in ones or twos as an exercise to increase the strength of the hip muscle. If you attack from the back, you can also use the heel in a back kick. This is quite similar to the side kick. You raise your knee and heel and stamp backwards against the knee joint or against the pelvic area. Always start off low. As you become more supple, raise the height of your kick. The back kick. Those complete most of the basic body weapons. These are the vital areas we'll be showing you how to attack. Between the eyes, the nose, the chin, the throat, the sternum bone, the solar plexus, the pelvic region, the groin, inside, outside of the thighs, knee joints, and the shin bone. From the back, you can also attack the base of the spine, the back of the neck, and side attacks can be done to the ribs and side of the neck. But most of the major vital spots lay down the center line. We'll now show you how to attack these with your own body weapons. You can attack the solar plexus with a straight thrust punch. You can attack the groin with a front kick or a knee kick. The inside and outside of the thighs can be attacked with round kicks, left or right leg. When in very, very close, you can use your knees against the inside of the thighs or the outside of the thighs. Front stamp kicks can be used against the knee joint, the toe of the shoe against the shin bone, round kicks against the calf. If you kick through, the opponent will lose his balance and fall to the ground. Upper body targets, the throat can be attacked with the leopard paw, can be attacked with the fist, thumb up or palm down. The sternum bone can be attacked. The palm can be used against the nose, leaving the thumb out to try and catch the eyes. The eyes can also be attacked with finger jabs, with woodpecker jabs. The side of the neck can be attacked with the side of your hand. The temple can be attacked with a back fist. The hair can be grabbed, driving the knee into the face. If the hair is short, you can grasp the back of the head or grasp the ears and rip the ears down as you place the knee into the face. If somebody is at the side of you, you can again use the same weapons in a similar way. You can use the hammer blow to the groin, to the solar plexus, to the nose. You can use the back of the fist against the eye sockets, the side of the hand against the throat, side of the hand against the groin. If you're very, very close, you can use the outside of the forearm, the inside of the forearm. Even closer, you can use the elbow to the solar plexus, the elbow to the chin. If he's behind you, a side step gives you a groin strike, reverse elbow thrust, reverse elbow hook. If the distance is greater, you can use the back kick. There's a low back kick against the knee, a medium back kick to the pelvic or groin area, and a higher one against the solar plexus. Very, very close in, face to face, as perhaps you'd be too close in to use an effective straight punch. Then use of the elbows that come into play. Then there's an elbow hook, an elbow straight, the falling elbow, and finally the uppercut. Many publications say when you're grabbed, you must do all these fancy wrist turns and step this way, step that way. The answer to practical self-defense is not to be involved in all the meticulous things. That takes 2 years. To learn. All you want is something you can learn today and use today. So if somebody does grab hold of you, don't try and respond with this and that and this. Just simply use a knee kick, use a throat strike, use a palm strike. If you're grabbed, hit. If both your arms are pinned down and in close, again you can use knee strikes, or using the tip of the forehead, you can drive this into your opponent's nose. But essentially, if you're grabbed, don't become involved with too many wrist manoeuvres, because while you're occupied with this hand, his other hand is free to hit you. If you also become involved with these fancy wrist grips, it can also kick you in the groin. Nobody's going to stand there and cooperate. As soon as you're grabbed, respond naturally. Kicking the groin, punching the face, releasing the grip, elbowing, using your head. All body weapons must be used naturally, without thought. And only by constant training can you attain this. Well, let's show you how to develop power in these techniques by use of a training pad made from foam, which can be used to strengthen the muscles used in the striking. The best kind of material to use for a punching or kicking pad is a polyethylene plank. It's a strong foam that will absorb most of the shock. I say most, but not all. If you haven't got a pad, perhaps if you bought some army kit bag from an army and navy stores and filled it with rags or sawdust for a punch bag, you can also use that. But anyway, if you're short of space and you haven't your garage to hang a punch bag, polyethylene foam plank bound with masking tape or just covered with a vinyl should suffice for a training pad. Okay? Punching the air increases speed and develops form, but you must have something to hit to use the correct muscles used in hitting. We'll just go through a short session of about 4 or 5 repetitions of some of the basics. The rest you've learned, you can practice yourself. First, a basic punch to the solar plexus. Remember, left side forward, twisting the body strongly into the punch. Okay? Solar plexus punch. It can also be aimed at the throat. Palm heel to the nose. Closer in, elbow straight. Placing the pad at a 45-degree angle for the rising knee kick against the groin. For the groin kick, place the pad down using the instep. This is aimed against the groin or the pelvic bone. the groin kick. For the front kick, using the heel, thrusting the hip forward, the front kick. The roundhouse kick, using the instep and the lower shin. Remember, this kick is most, for practical self-defense, is best kept low. The side thrust kick, knee and heel align with your hip and thrust. Push the hip with the kick. You'll get more power if you step. Place your left leg behind your right and push the hip with the kick. Once you get used to this step, make this step faster by a slight skip, making sure the knee and heel are aligned with the target area. In the side thrust kick. Most of these techniques can be practiced. Side back fists, ridge hands, hammer blows, etc. All the techniques shown previously must be worked out on a pad as well as in the air. Only by using a pad will you build striking power. We'll now move on to the basic defensive positions. As you remember, most of the vital spots lay down your centre line. So this is the area that must be protected. Nothing fancy like you see in films, wide open. Centre line of protection. You must keep your hands in front of you at all times. And then when the attack comes off a hand or a foot, the attack has to pass your hands. Okay, so you guard your centre line. Left hand in the centre, guarding the lower half. Right hand at the top half. Never have both hands down, exposing the top half of your body. Never have both hands up, exposing the lower part of your body. Never have your hand back on your hip in an actual situation, exposing parts of the body. Even when you punch, elbow, a hand must always be in the centre. Okay, there's two positions, left hand low, right hand high. Or the reverse, right hand low, left hand high. Okay, so having covered the vital spots, the only way an attack can get through now is through 4 gates. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If an attack should pass through this gate, you can use a slap block against a straight punch, or a cutting motion against the punch. If an attack comes low, you can use this motion to ward off the attack, or a slap. The same for the right side. Slap, cut, slap, cut. When one hand is low, the other one stays high. Okay? When one hand is high, the other one stays low. Obviously, most of the attacks done in the street will not always involve the straight punch, but we'll just go through those first, and then we'll describe defensive measures against uppercuts, hooks, etc. Okay, so we'll deal first with a straight line punch. This is a thrusting punch, can be used by somebody who's done some boxing, against the straight punch. Okay, straight punch into the face. When the punch goes for the face, just snapping the head back means it's missed. Using first holding this position, that the strike would have been a hit. Just move the head back. If he can't touch you, he can't hurt you. Okay, so when he jabs to the face, snap the head back. When he Jabs to the face, move on the inside, let the punch go over your shoulder. Or move on the outside, let the punch go over your other shoulder. This is without using blocks, just by using the head, bobbing it and weaving. Okay, the first one, snap back. Second one, move on the inside. Third one, move on the outside. Practice these in your own home. Next, using the blocking techniques, attack into the same area using a slap block. A slap block. Next time, use a cutting block. Cutting block. Cutting block. Attacking low, a cutting block. Attacking low, a slapping block. Now these same movements can be used in quite a few situations. If you keep the angle roughly 90, the structure of the arm is stronger. And use the area just below the elbow as a blocking area. Don't use near the wrist. This can be forced back. If you use the place below the elbow, the body dynamics make the frame stronger. Okay, so first one, against an uppercut to the body, just using the cross guard with a slight turn puts the arm in the way of the blow. Okay, so from an uppercut, turning the body this way, it's not an actual block, it's moving the frame, the strong frame, towards the blow. So his soft part is being hit against your hard part. So the harder he punches, the more he hurts himself. So against an uppercut, just jamming the hand down there. Okay? The cutting block against a straight punch with a slight body turn can also be used against the hook. This way. If the hand is in front and he hooks, just a short body turn. And again, the soft part of his arm is banged against your hard, bony surface. And the best thing to do is to try and combine a strike with a block. The reason being, if he's punching twice, most schools teach block, then punch. But if he's punching twice, 1, 2, then you both get hit at the same time. So the idea is to try and, against a straight punch to the face, is to block and punch at the same time. Okay, so from this position, block and punch at the same time. If any movement feels weak, this can be changed to a more softer area, such as the eyes or the throat. If an attack comes high, you can slap block and again punch. This movement is weaker, so it's usually combined with an eye jab. A block coming low, straight, you're blocking again. Turn the right side forward as you block to increase the power of your punch. Against an uppercut, the same way, this way, and also punching, palming, or finger jabbing. Any of these techniques, when he's stunned, can be followed through with elbows, side hits to the neck, groin kicks. We'll show you 1 or 2 counters, but then you must experiment and find your own technique. Against the hook, again combined with a punch. And straight off the block, the blocking arm can also follow through with punches to the face, hammers to the nose, eye jabs, palms. You must try and work with a combination. When you're very, very close, it's elbows, headbutts, finger jabs, palms, knee kicks. From a longer distance punch against the hook, if you've moved back to avoid the hook, you're like a longer range now, and then your kicks can be used, roundhouse kicks to the ribs, solar plexus, or groin kicks. Okay, so against the hook, you're close in, 1, 2. If you duck underneath the hook, this way, you can attack the groin, attack the waist. Punching to the face again, block and punch for close in. If you're using a snapback, when you can't reach with your hands, then you bring into place your feet. So it's all a matter of distance. The distance determines which weapons you must use. Close-in weapons are the short punch and elbows, knees. Medium distance weapons are punches straight, punches round, groin hits. Long distance, you want to use a fist, it must be used with a sliding forward. Long distance kicks, if you're too far away, then you must slide forward. If you are attacked and you're not confident in your ability to block, and just keep the distance. Try and be aware of distance. Try and be aware of the length of your opponent's legs, so when he kicks you, you're out of range. Take note of the length of his arms. I'm in range from here. If I keep to this distance, I only have the feet to worry about. If he moves towards me, then I move further back. And try and practice also against somebody who's lunging towards you fast to do some sidestepping movements. Step into his weak side. If I step on this side, then I must hit at the same time, because on this side I'm facing a danger of being punched, being elbowed, being kneed. So try and take note of the opponent's attacking side and move on to the weak side. Therefore, his stronger weapons now can't be used against me unless he turns bodily, and then from there you can knee kick, etc.
However proficient you become, don't try to be Superman. Steve Parle is a well-known film stuntman and fighter ninja. For him and his colleagues, this is a bit of tongue-in-cheek fun. And because all the participants are experts, nobody gets hurt. But if this were a real situation, Steve would be the first to run for it. Discretion is the better part of valor, and we are not in the business of violence.
Hey, Jesus. Come on. Come on. It's him!
The slightest sign of any trouble, be it a bar or in the street or in a local club, the best thing to do is just to walk away, ignore it. But if you are forced into a situation and you know that trouble is going to begin, then don't bother about blocking. You must always hit first. Self-preservation. After all, man's best hobby is breathing.
Start, arm up. Arm up. Okay. Okay, here we go. Jab, hook, and go for it.
Karate, the way of the empty hand, a way of fighting without weapons. Karate began 5 centuries ago. Now it's developed into competition karate. No, not the 7 deadly ninja, not the way of the exploding fist, not even the Karate Kid. Competition karate, explosive, disciplined, athletic, a sport in which Great Britain's men and women dominate the world. Competition karate, the balance and finesse of the dancer, the speed and reaction of a sprinter, the agility and strength of a gymnast. 2 men, Jeff Thompson and Pat Mackay, have all those qualities. In this video, they'll demonstrate how they won an astonishing 10 gold medals in world competition. Medals they won both convincingly and with style.
Oh, there's the finish. There's the finish to the face, in touch, it was beautiful.
But the gold goes to Janice Argyle. And he salutes his supporters.
Hi, I'm Jeff Thompson. Hello, I'm Pat Mackay.
There is a big difference between the abilities required to achieve a grade and the skill it takes to compete and win at competition, especially at world-class level. In the next 30 minutes, Pat and I will pass on to you some of the techniques we have learned. Watching this video will be your first step-by-step introduction to competition karate.
Karate is all about controlled aggression. Yes, there is contact. But unlike boxing, the objective is to show technical superiority, not sheer brute strength. Yes, brains can beat brawn. Gichin Funakoshi, the father of modern karate, the sport that started off as a martial art only 50 years ago. It's an extension of yoga, Zen meditation, and other methods of self-control of the body and mind that were developed in the Far East some 500 years ago.
At the first World Championships in Tokyo 1970, not surprisingly, Japan dominated. Here in Taiwan 1982, Suzuki wins a super lightweight title, but Britain took the blue ribbon event, the team title, and have held it ever since.
Points are scored by blows to the target area. That's the head, including the side and the back, but never the throat or eyes. Then the torso, the top half of the body, front and back. But again, blows to the groin or knees can be penalized by disqualification. Fights last 3 minutes, unless one competitor scores 6 half points or 3 full points, wazaris or ippons.
Here Jim demonstrates a front punch backhand combination, which depending on speed and delivery will result in a wazari or ippon. Next, a front kick to the midsection for a wazari. And next I'm demonstrating a roundhouse kick to the face. A lot of control, a slap round the face with perfect recoil for a full point, ippon. And finally, a sweep followed by a punch to the back. Good distance, speed, power, recoil for the perfect full point, ippon.
The competition area is 8 meters square, marked by a red boundary. The referee, helped by an arbitrator, decides whether the punch or kick, the technique as it's called, was perfectly delivered or not.
The difference between a wazari and an ippon is quality. If you land the punch or kick perfectly, you get a full point. But if it's not 100%, the ref will award only half a point. One final tip, always give a loud shout or kiai when you execute your technique to convince the officials.
So, half a point wazari, full point ippon. If the match ends level, say 2-2, it goes into sudden death. The first person to score wins.
Pat's seen here demonstrating the stance which is favoured by most of the international fighters. As you can see, the front knee is bent and in line with the front foot toes. If we come to the back foot, it's turned in a 45-degree angle. This allows the hip the maximum amount of extension and mobility. The body weight is central and allows movement forward or back for attack and defence. The upper body is turned at a 45-degree angle, so you're not such an open target. Now let's look at the hands. The front hand is in line with the shoulder. This enables you to deflect either to the face or to the body. The back hand is placed at the centre of the stomach, with the hip acting as the starting block to propel your punches forward. This stance enables you to move with explosive power, with mobility and with confidence.
Okay, now we come to the punches. The main punches used in modern day competition are front punch, reverse punch and back fist. It's important you remember these punches as you will need them later on in the combinations. Just working with your partner, opposite stance. These techniques can be done in any stance, but working here, left stance to right stance. Just moving in, front leg, extension on the front punch, snap back, pull out. Same with the reverse punch, sliding in, full extension on the hip, punching to the stomach level, and back. Same with the back fist, moving in, high elbow, punch to the face, snap back, pull out. We'll now show you it done at speed.
Okay, now it's my turn. For every attacking technique in karate, there's also a defense and counter. We're now going to demonstrate those for you in sequence. Firstly, both working in the same stance, that's right to right. As Pat throws the front punch, the front arm just deflects across, opening up the chest for a reverse punch to the midsection. Secondly, with the reverse punch, rotate and deflect. There is a difference. A block means it can be telegraphed. But to deflect means you've got enough rotation to return the punch to the stomach and pull back. Thirdly, because of the speed of the back fist, you're not going to get much time to move out of the way. So for this one that's more favoured is as Pat delivers the punch, you simply just make out as though you're holding onto the collar of your suit, so that the punch is now going to ricochet off the forearm and opening up for a reverse punch to the side. We're now going to demonstrate that at speed.
Okay, now we come to the kicks. The kicks are more difficult than the punches, and they require a lot more flexibility and mobility. We're now going to go through a series of roundhouse kicks, just using your partner, working right stance to right stance. They can be done in any stance. First kick, roundhouse kick, front leg. Just heel step, high knee, snap into the stomach, and back. The same kick, roundhouse to the head. Again, heel step, high knee in case of the reverse punch coming. It's in the way. Snap the kick to the face and back. You must make contact. Same again with the roundhouse kick to the body. Just moving away from the reverse punch, underneath the guard. Snap the kick in and back. And again, roundhouse to the back. Pivot on the front knee, keeping the hips low. Turn, kick round the back, and snap. We'll now show you this done at speed.
Now, believe it or not, there's no need to take all that punishment, as there are counters for those kicks. Countering of kicks requires courage, body movement, and timing. All you have to remember is an arm isn't as strong as a leg. We're now going to demonstrate those counters for you. Working in a right-to-right stance, Pat's going to throw the heel step roundhouse to the body. You lean back, curl your hand around the kick.